Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4?
Uncharted 4.
Never heard of it.
I'm going to talk about
So
Uncharted
good.
1.
So you should. You should.
Going back.
No, that's my game of the week. That's all
That's your
I
whole
was
life.
been. That's everything right now. I gotta beat it before they're out there. They're everywhere. Everywhere.
You had a whole week and you didn't beat it yet? Such a
I'm a
dad.
dad. What do you?
Ready?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's wing it. Let's do it.
We're already going, man.
Yeah, this is it. We're
Right.
here live.
I see. So I need another coffee cup of brandy. The the adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. It is time for New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have an 11-month-old.
My name is Gavin. I have a 9-month-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Welcome everybody to another week of it. Gents, as the new dad tip was, if you're going to be drinking brandy or hard liquor, hide it in a mug, and the kids are none the wiser.
Same with the neighbors, so they don't call anybody on you.
Yeah.
He's just having a coffee again. That's weird.
It's like, man, that neighbor loves his coffee, just constant.
Did you guys hear that story about with there's a park in Toronto called Trinity Bellwoods, and I think it was this summer that just passed. They had a big problem with people drinking in the park.
Really? Just
Yeah, and like
bottles?
for people who are unfamiliar with Canadian drinking law, usually it's not a big. You just can't do it in public, which is
Yeah.
bizarre because it's like you go to Europe and they're just like some countries are like just no glass because you might get angry and protest. Um, but that's the only instance I ever saw any law saying don't do that outside. Anyways, yeah, they cracked down on this one park in Toronto. They're like, no drinking in the park, blah blah blah. So then somebody was saying how like a Tim Hortons extra large, you could hold like a tall boy, like a tall can of beer in it.
Like
There was all these
perfectly?
people, yeah, and there was all these people who were doing like little like hacks. It's like here's how you can get away with drinking like scotch or this or that, like and little things, and all these posts on Twitter were popping up about how to drink in the park and not get caught by the Toronto police.
That's a perfect way to advertise it too, right? Hey, here's not how not to get caught.
Yeah,
You, the Tim Hortons, put it down.
yeah.
And we,
Hashtag.
yeah, and then like at sign not a cop says, and don't forget to wrap red ribbon around it so that the cops will especially not
Yeah.
know which one's
Yeah.
alcohol.
Hey, I'd like to try that out. Can I get your name, number, and license?
Yeah, so that place isn't too far away from me, and we actually through that a bunch of time, walked through that park a bunch of times last year, and it had gotten to a point where there was homeless people selling alcohol to people in the park. So they're walking around with backpacks filled with like beers and such they'd bought from the liquor store, and they're just walking around like Budweiser and the Blue Light and Canadian. Who wants a beer? They kind of get a little
Entrepreneurs.
upset.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
there's some party you're like, this is an amazing service that is
Yeah.
unbelievably illegal,
Yeah.
Like supply demand.
which is
But
a
it's
shame because
it's honestly no different than a baseball game. Like if you go to the
Well,
baseball game, there's somebody with beer just walking up and down selling it. It's just like
yeah,
they're doing this, they're just not doing it in a spot that's licensed. I say that in quotation marks. It's not a quotation
yeah,
mark.
yeah.
Really, this area is not licensed to sell alcohol.
No.
But yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like, well, what's wrong with this spot? Like, why not? It's like, well, we can't guarantee it's safe. It's like you're gonna drink a beer and have a nap under a tree. Like, what's gonna happen? There's,
it,
it's,
it
it's
feels
not
like
there's sports ball around to get people angry. Like, it's just a park. It's just a park.
there is a baseball diamond, so maybe that's enough to incite some
Uh-oh.
rage.
Maybe, yeah.
The T-ball game going on. See, it feels like one of those just in case of kids law, specifically where it's there. And I think like the type of thing that people don't necessarily flaunt it, but like quietly in the corner you're having a picnic and you have a couple beers and you finish your meal and you pack up and you go away quietly. and the cop's not really going to bother you, but it's more have it in place in case somebody decides to get surly and start yelling at the kids playing baseball, and then you you have means to deal with it in that case. Yeah,
I
it's
guess. I don't know. Maybe it's about
Just,
the homeless
just
people. They have,
have a law about people not being belligerent.
yeah,
yeah. Sir, you're drunk,
assaulting
but I
people.
need you to drop that down a bit. Keep
Yeah.
it at a good drunk level. We're trying to have a good
It's like
time here.
it's not the consumption of that one particular liquid that is the problem. It's how people handle it once it's in them. So it's like if you're going to verbally assault somebody, then you shouldn't vilify the thing that caused the person to verbally assault. You vilify the verbal assault. So if you're able to have a beer and not be a complete idiot and just a belligerent jerk kicking over strollers, then you should be able to sit and enjoy your afternoon. To
Can you
have this sort
imagine?
of, I know,
Can you imagine? All I'm picturing is a guy just drunk out of his mind, kicking over strollers. He passes out under a tree with a dog just licking his face. Just like that's the park now.
Just
That's
yeah.
imagine like
what it is.
his jumping
Actually,
judo kick to make it happen. Like stupid stroller.
Or he misses, and he just falls.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, it's kind of a shame because it's just it's one of those small niceties of adulthood as far as a warm summer day in a park with trees and grass and just having a beer or a beverage and
mhm.
kind of enjoying that scenario. But
It's more about having kids and that taking the edge off a little bit. Just saying. That's
Yeah.
the kids really bothered me today.
yeah,
I had to
your level
practice
of
Tim Hortons.
intoxication multiplies by the number of kids. So if you have 2 kids, you're allowed to be this drunk. If you have 4 kids, you're allowed to be this drunk. Like, so
Each
there's like
each kid is a drink ticket.
There
nice.
you go. Yes. Completely agree.
Right this way, sir. Okay, what do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. You take all of this.
Yeah.
Every bit.
Yeah.
Right this way, sir.
You'll need it. Trust me, you'll need it.
Oh.
The yeah. No, what's even more curious now is that on the strip. So we live very close to that park, in fact, and on the walk from here to that park, with no exaggeration, like 4 marijuana dispensaries have opened up recently, just all on the same street.
Yeah.
So this summer it's going to be a whole different game going on in that park.
Yeah.
And
That's just bad business. 4 on the same street? Like,
yeah,
space it out. Like, feel like a gas station. Or maybe they are like gas stations. They have 2 rivals next to each other, and one's
it's
called weed. Yeah, it's called
it's borderline
weed.
comical. Like
I don't
it's like
know.
Canada hinted the fact that they would legalize marijuana, and just 4 stores just like bam, 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 bam opened up
Yeah.
immediately. We'll see what happens. I'll give the park report as we go on throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah. What's
Well,
the
it's funny.
forecast? It's like everywhere else. Like, what's the forecast today? Oh, clear and sunny. It's like, what's the forecast for the park? Cloudy. Cloudy with a chance of beer.
Cla- Cloudy with
Everyone's
a
just
chance of
staring at their
Cheetos.
hands.
Man, I don't know what these guys are laughing at. It's just a kids' baseball game. I don't. What's so funny?
It's not a Benny Hill skit. What are they giggling about?
If I wasn't so drunk, I'd have half a mind to go talk to them right now. Oh, very good. Yes, we had a bit of in the pre-ramble. The 2 of you had some interesting gaming for the week that I'd like us to get into. So I thought I'd do a quick update beforehand on my Street Fighter journey. I'm terrible. That's not. It's not improving.
It's not
I
encouraging, Trevor. Come on.
so I
Where's the
participated.
practice?
I participated in an event this week, though. So there was a Reddit group, and every week on Fridays they run a newbie fight night. So you join this group, and they create these things called battle lounges, where up to 8 players can just get into it. And it's like, okay, if you get like 4 wins in a row, you get kicked out because you're too good. Anybody who's too good, like, just don't even bother, get out of here. And it's about newer players just getting together and being able to have quick matches with one another and trying to learn and like trying to practice against like different scenarios. It was surprisingly intimidating as far as like it's a type of anxiousness like I just did not come up with online gaming, and I get such anxiety when I'm getting into these matches or into these group situations online with games that I'm going to be the one idiot who has no idea how this is supposed to go. It's like, no, press that. No, press the button. Why aren't you pressing the button? Oh, this guy right here, kick him out, like ban him, publicly shame this guy.
So are you scared of like turning into like the previous generation? Or you're like, no, right click, right click.
Yeah.
Man, it feels like I'm there already because it's just like I'm staring at him, just like not sure how this is supposed to go. Am I doing this right? And then there's even the thing like I go in full on knowing I'm awful, and I assumed that this was for awful people, except their version of awful is twice as good as I am. So I'm pre-watching their matches as I'm waiting in the queue to have my match with somebody, and they're just zipping around having the time of their lives, doing all these other advanced moves that I have no clue what they're doing. So it's even further terrifying. It's just like this is going to be a waste of time for everybody involved.
Yeah. It's like if you showed up to like a Rubik's Cube convention, everybody there is having a blast. But like if it's not your wheelhouse, you're just gonna be like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't understand how this is fun, and you just
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah,
You
so
know?
it's,
I'd be nervous joining any sort of like fight club. That's essentially what you just joined, was a fight club.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
we're
talked
dad.
about
they
it.
really sell it
Those
though. They're like,
And you
know,
talked about it. Yeah.
it's like, guys, just grab a drink and jump in the forum. Like anybody who's too good, get out of here. This is about us newbies like learning. And then it's
Yeah.
like watch this like 50 hit combo, and it's just like what are you doing here? Like, what are all you people doing here? Like I need to create my like new newbie
Yeah.
night that goes beyond it. All suffice to say, I stuck in it. I had a couple matches with them. Like definitely got absolutely beat, but I was able to practice some things I'd been trying to learn and work on. Overall, like a good experience to the point where I'd probably do it again. I just still practicing. Still, man, I'm really into it still. Like that the overarching storyline with the entire thing is that I'm still just really enjoying this game in the process of it, of slowly starting to connect some dots and getting some things together. Like started to watch some of the online matches and competitions, which it's bizarrely fascinating to watch these guys at the top of their game. Like just especially when you've played it and you're absolutely awful at it and you have a hard time maneuvering, then to see these masters of it just ninja around and some
Yeah,
of the
it's like
most
watching anybody, really, like that's master of their trade sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
these guys have it down to a science. Like they're counting frames for the amount when they jump in with a hit.
Yeah. It's like watching a chef chop an onion. You watch
Yeah.
anybody else chop an onion, you're like, oh, this is so boring. You watch like a chef do it, you're just like, what?
How does he do it so paper thin? It's weird.
except with me there's twice as many tiers, so
Yeah,
it's
And beads of sweat. Just oh my god.
so here's the big one is I've also found a local group in Toronto, and they hold like 2 meets a week where you show up and you actually you pay a really small fee to get in, and it's like a mini little tournament. So there's casual matches, so you can just hop in and play around with everybody, but you're also entered into a tournament, and it seems like they average about 30 to 40 guys every week.
Wow.
That's
Twice a week.
yeah. I don't know if like it might not be the same games. I think at very least it's this game at least once a week, and that is really far out for me as far like the thought of showing like I half feel like just to embody how out of place I feel there, I should just bring my kid like in a like in my front holder. He's like, hey, here he is. Let's play some games, everybody.
For sure. And total dad gear, like t-shirt tucked into your jeans, wide belt
Fanny
buckle,
pack, fanny pack.
pack, yes. Old like 1992 Blue Jays shirt,
Yep.
kind of yellowed, with a hat that doesn't fit.
Get
Like
the
a
socks.
Velcro back,
Get
mesh
socks
back.
with sandals.
Oh, jeez.
Just stroll in there. People think you're like, man, this guy must be on it. Let's just see what he has.
It's like there's no way a guy shows up like this and is bad.
Right.
It's like, wow, he was that bad.
Visual distraction to people.
Or maybe they'll throw them off and they'll try to approach you differently, and they change
Yeah.
their attack scheme, and at least just leaves them open, and you just
Yeah.
Although in reality, like I don't know, like you could learn like, and I'm all for gaming, but like you could learn a new craft 2 times a week, like that much time a week spent on that, like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could be
that's
you could
Oh yeah,
become
no, no,
really
that
good at like a real world, like a flesh and blood reality skill. Like,
yeah, I assure you, I would not go twice a week, and I'm not even planning to go weekly. It's just I'm just saying, like, as I casually play this game on the side, and as I
mhm.
casually get better, the thought that at some point I could go to this type of event, and even kind of compete, would
Yeah,
be like that's like an Everest as far
it's a
as my
big
fighting
step
career.
forward. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing too. I think that's why people do devote so much time to practicing, and like twice a week or even more is like they want to. This is their sport. This is their league. This is the thing they like to do. Their recreational sport that they like to participate in, and that's why they put so much time and effort into it. Um, but yeah, it's really bizarre to think like, yeah, it's like they're putting in the hours that eventually accumulate to the hours that you need to master something. And it's kind of interesting, like with something like a game where, especially how games will change in each iteration, can you get to that point on one before the next one comes out, like Street Fighter 6 or something like that, and you're like, oh, I just got my head around, and I know there's a lot of transferable mechanics in between the different iterations, but still, like, I wonder how weird it is. It's like if you spend all this time learning baseball, and then like, oh, the baseball two's out.
Baseball. Yeah, so I have it's two related thoughts on that actually. Is one is I had been pondering the amount of time I was thinking about it. Like I have not been devoting a lot of hours to the game just because I don't have any.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause it's little babies taking up many of them. But no, I had been thinking about it, and I guess one of the things that actually had provided me some solace is that, much like you said, I think it's transferable. And once you do get to a certain level with this thing, like this could be my game now for like the next like 10 years. Like anybody who got really good at Street Fighter 4, there's certainly new things to learn in Street Fighter 5, but ultimately some of that is transferable. So that just means like this would be the franchise that I could continue to play with. And if you get to any kind of interesting competitive, call it competitive level, but just decent level online, it's that for you to be up there, you could always stay up there and just continue on with that series. And that's if it's good enough. Like, talk to me in a month, and it's like, well, like that was that. That was experimented with it. I'm out of it now. But if it continues to hold my interest, I guess the thing that kind of gave me solace is that like ultimately, sure, it's a steep climb at the moment, but once I get up there,
Mm-hmm.
theoretically, this could be my game for a very long time.
Well, yeah,
The
that's the
second,
thing too, is you're working against the curve when it comes to time that you have to put towards it. It's like if somebody's an Olympic athlete and they're up against another Olympic athlete, but one of them has to hold down a full-time job and the other one doesn't, um, it kind of changes their starting point in regards to like, okay, well, I was able to log this many hours in a year to train and get better at what I do. You were able to log like 3 or 4 times more than me because you don't have this other stuff to do as well. These um, other things that look to you to get done. So it's weird. It's like you're competing against a group of people that have such varied responsibilities. You have some people who don't really have a lot of responsibilities. You have other people who have very similar responsibilities to you. So it's curious to see like of that pool of people. Um, like you might find people that are in your weight class, I guess is the way to describe it. I
yeah.
wonder how many might have shared similarities as far as like responsibility level in life and stuff like that. Um, I don't know. It's a curious experiment. I'm happy you're doing it because I've got no time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing it.
Because with the yeah, well, it's ultimately like the time, whatever time you're spending with other games, like that's what I'm spending on this.
Yeah.
And I definitely do intend to like reach out to other games as well. I think ultimately the last version, like 4, lasted for like 6 years. Like that thing was out and running, even in competitive scenes for like 6 full years. So it's not like sometimes I almost feel like there's this shelf life, like with Rocket League. Like one of the reasons why I bought it was because it's like this is hot now. This is a lot of fun right now. Who knows if this community stays? Like let's get in and like have a great time with it, because I don't know if this will exist in 3 years. This game, it's got a track record to show that it will. I mean, like heck, there's still competitive Street Fighter 3. So in many ways, there's no rush for me to get good anytime soon, and this can be a long journey as long as it holds my interest. But again, like to that point though as well, one of the things I started to do this week as well was double down, like start practicing more of my Spanish. I've had a long-term goal, my wife being Colombian, that I should probably speak Spanish. I've only been married to her for 9 years, so I should probably speak Spanish to her at some point. But in looking at the amount of time I was thinking about that game, it's like I should spend some time in real life goals as well.
I didn't think that's where that was going. I thought you were going to be like, I'm going to learn Spanish to do international tournaments with Street Fighter and start there. And then
it's lower bracket down there, and I have more of a chance.
Language along the way.
Yeah.
No, it was.
That's
call it gaming. Call it gaming guilt, like gaming and family guilt, where it's just like I need to expand my mind in other areas too, because it can't all just be Hadoukens and Shoryukens. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that second one.
I think the other one was a ninja star, but
yeah, probably. It shows you how far we are. But another otherwise quick. Played some Final Fantasy 9. Still absolutely loving it. Got killed in the worst way possible, which is where the enemy confuses you, so you start attacking yourself. One of the most frustrating deaths in all of games.
So you hit yourself?
You beat yourself, yeah.
So it's like
that.
It's like this
sibling just being like, stop hitting yourself.
It's these they're little lowly characters, and if you can get your hit in, like they're definitely dead, but just they'll cast confuse. You'll hit yourself, you'll hit your own teammates, and you die. And it's the most frustrating death in all of Final Fantasy. I've always hated it. I hate it
so yelling at your phone. Why are you hitting yourself?
Throwing the phone across the room.
He's already dead.
Yeah, but that's that's enough for that update. So I would love to get into the games you guys played this week, because I believe it's a little indie title, like small little
bit
minor
small
release
number.
Yeah. Just a little grassroots thing.
Jeff,
you're welcome to get started.
So my world is this little title called Uncharted 4, and it is amazing, as everybody already knows. I can't stop playing it. I can't. Where are we going with this? I can't stop playing with it.
I just spelled alcohol in the computer, so I'm just having it drip off.
Wow.
Continue.
I was wondering why you were panicking.
Oh, yeah.
You guys continue. Ignore me. Although if I drop off, assume that my computer's fried.
All right, Jeff, continue explaining your gaming experience to Trevor's crotch.
So, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Uncharted 4. I have been gaming with Uncharted since the beginning, so I will consider myself a veteran of it. And the fourth installment it refines and improves on every single aspect that I can think of so far in the originals, and just to the point of not only like graphic fidelity, but gameplay mechanics. The shooting, the climbing is totally tweaked. Even like if people are unfamiliar with it, there's like rock faces with ledges that your character has to climb up, and in the first like couple games they were really apparent, so they had to kind of call that out to you, where now they're just kind of textured into the mountain, but enough that you can see them, but they become part of the environment. It's so well done. Lighting, like your ears, they show light through them, like just little touches like that. There's I can go on forever, but there's rope physics. So the rope doesn't clip, so when you swing around the pole, it's like a tetherball, like it goes around and around and slowly stops, and then it's just like somebody spent hours trying to make rope physics work, and it's awesome. I love it. But again, I don't know, Gavin. Have you played Uncharted 4? Because I'm not done it yet, but again, it's like a fine wine. I want to sip it, I want to enjoy it, but I want to stay off the internet for any kind of spoilers or anything like that. Oh, good.
I have not tried Uncharted 4, but instead this week I picked up the Uncharted collection. So I'm
Oh, it's
starting
good. It's a
from
good
the
start.
first one, and it's been fun. I didn't have a PS3, so I never really got a chance to play them the first time around. And now it's I'm like, okay, Uncharted 4 looks spectacular. All the tech
Yeah.
stuff I've seen with it. I saw somebody shoot up a hill with like shale rock on it,
Yeah, and the
and
rocks
it was
come down.
just like,
Oh,
I was like, wow, that is so nice. I saw a pressure cooker that looked photoreal. Like all these things are like, this is a stunning game. But it looks like a game that deserves enough respect of like, no, I'm gonna play through the other ones. So yeah, I
yeah.
picked up the other collection. Um, like get 3 games for the price of one. Why not? And 3 games that have been like super super well received. So I'm working my way through the first one, a few chapters in, uh, really enjoying it. Like it's a little clunky, but like
Yeah.
I can see where the magic is. Like I can see kind of the foundations that everything else is building off of. So yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Can't wait to try them all out. But most importantly, I'm really looking forward to 4, just because it looks so pretty.
It's
Looks
just like
so
they
pretty.
perfected their formula. Like I know I think it's the last game in the series. I believe they've said that, concrete, it's done. This is the end.
Hmm.
But it's funny because when I play Uncharted 4, my memory of Uncharted 1 is like, this is what that looked like. But then I go and like Google search like what the first game actually looked like. I'm like, oh man, my memory is so flawed.
Yeah.
It does not look like that at all.
Yeah, it's got to be the most fleshed out tech demo that you've ever seen because the way people talk about it's just like so stunning, as if it's the one title that's going to sell a console, and it's just like here's a 10-minute experience to show you what's possible, and you've seen that in like small films before that show like look at the power of the graphics that we have,
Mhm.
except that it's also, as I've understood it, like just incredible story.
Yes, yeah.
And that's
And well, part of that too, like the story all flows together, so there's no load screens. Like it's all intercut with cutscenes and then to gameplay, and then you honestly think that some of the cutscenes you won't play, and then you're all of a sudden controlling the character. Like the graphics just stay with you, and the story flows so well that I find myself up at 2 a.m. Uh, like in another chapter, and the only way to know is when the chapter title kind of writes on screen that you're kind of entering this new venue to traverse the rest of the story, and I'll have to look at my cell phone to read what time it is and try and go to bed because the worst thing is being a dad and overtired in the morning. It just not it throws out your whole day. It's like being hungover. It's just
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
yeah.
Not with the energy.
How was your last Monday? When we last spoke, it was release day, and you were currently downloading it. Did
Oh yeah,
you?
so preloaded, waited till midnight, 12:01 I'm in it. Like I'm in the game, and I think I stopped at probably 1:30-ish. So
Oh,
a
okay.
good hour and a half.
I was waiting for like then I
Uh
went to work at 8, and
no, no, I'm not. I don't have the energy. I'm old now. I can't do that. But no, even 1:30 was brutal getting up at 6 and then getting the kids ready and going and out the door. So no, I was there with everybody. 12 o'clock. Well,
would you
maybe
play?
not everybody.
Would you play the game in front of your kids? Like, is it
No,
relatively mild? No. Okay.
no. If Gavin might have experienced a little bit of it, but the melee stuff has been really fine tuned. So like, um, you'll grab guys and snap their necks, twist, and it's all kind of like a grappling system now. Whereas before, I think it was kind of like a one button to get out of the hold the guy had on you, and it was kind of not kid like, but it was a little less aggressive. And this one is just like no holds barred. He's grabbing your like face, trying to get his fingers in your eyeballs and rip open your jaw, and you're just it's almost like Last of Us, but not like that
Not as
brutal.
much. Oh,
Yeah, it's
oh,
not like gonna
I,
rip your skull apart.
I just
Um,
remembered some of those, and they were oh,
they're
poor
pretty
poor Joel.
terrifying.
Poor
Yeah.
Joel.
So no, they're pretty. They'll
That seems
strangle you
like
and stuff.
That seems a bit out of I don't want to say not out of character, but oh geez, what's a super fancy word that journalists use on it? Like cognitive dissonance? Is that the fancy word? Probably not. Anyway,
We'll take
it,
it.
it's where
Yeah,
the
sure.
in the name where the let's say the story like the cutscenes where it's super soft and emotional and quiet, and then the next scene is jumping through and like punching demons' hearts out. Just where there's that disconnect between story and mood and character and then gameplay. And I have when you describe that with some of the what's that?
Juxtaposition.
No, there's a very fancy like two or three
Fancy.
word sentence that you, cognitive dissonance. I swear that was it.
I'll
It's
just say
probably not.
disjointed.
Disjointed. Yeah, disjointed sounds nice.
I'll just say
So do you find that slightly disjointed? Because from the cutscenes that I've seen, like it kind of feels like it's much more of a cinematic
Um,
Indiana Jones style. It's like an Indiana Jones. Sure,
yeah.
he shot a couple dudes, but I mean like ripping eyeballs out, followed by
Well,
Well,
not
snapping
like they're
necks.
ripping. They're not
there's
ripping eyeballs out, but they're grabbing your face. Yeah.
yeah.
And like you can grab the enemies, and if you're close enough to the environment, it's kind of like The Last of Us again, where it will use the environment to your advantage. So if you're close to a wall, he'll smack the guy's head off the wall. So the cutscenes that you kind of see do flow with the scene. So if like one of them, I think he was kissing his wife now, or so spoiler, girlfriend, wife. You don't know who that is yet,
I have an
but
idea.
that whole scene was just you like walking through the house, like his house. So it was very serene. You're just looking around. I feel so bad for the guys that created that house just because it's so well detailed, and you spend all of like 5 minutes in it. Like everything is modeled. Like there's toothpaste on the toothbrush in the bathroom, and like everything is like you've got a reflection, which I didn't expect in this kind of game, just with the graphic fidelity in it. And then like the tile is all reflective, and the kitchen is all done up, and the drapes move and everything. But then the cutscene hits, and you're making out with your wife, and then a call comes in, and then you're Indiana Jonesing it on a boat. So it kind of it does flow together. I don't want to spoil it for too many people because it's good. It's a good story. It's just the best word I can say is it flows together. Like there's no hard breaks, which I think they learned from Last of Us, and it's the same director. It's Neil Druckmann or whatever. So he's master at his craft for sure at this
That
point.
is, that is fascinating that you know the director's name for a game.
Yeah,
I've
no,
never known a game director's name, so that's telling. I think.
yeah, I've seen some behind the scenes stuff with him and explaining Last of Us and how he sought out the perfect music and the people for it, and he drove those actors into recuts and redos and push them and push them and push them. And it's a really neat watch, and I really admire him. Like for the stuff he does, it's something to live up to. It's amazing what he does with art. But I'll stop the fanboyism now. Just get Uncharted 4 and play it. That's me.
Um,
That's my week.
as far as dad stuff, our little
There's
one
Uncharted
is
4.
starting.
We have babies.
Yeah, yeah. She
Yes.
started Uncharted 4, and she's doing really well.
She's a pro at Street Fighter 5. She said it's very easy.
Yeah, she keeps beating this Trev Dog 72 like every night. Pops the floor with him. This guy feels sorry for the guy, like really.
I mean, she's just a
Baby.
baby, but like
Yeah.
he's so bad.
So bad. No, she's started on finger food, so that's
Oh, nice.
fun.
That's so much
She
easier.
sunk her teeth into her first piece of pork chop tonight. It's fun watching her use her teeth on like different textures and just sort of the response she gets, like, ooh, crunchy. I've never had crunchy before. This is a whole new world. Or like, a crisp piece of green pepper, and how she likes red pepper more than green pepper. And just things like that. It's been really fun to watch. And yeah, you're totally right, Jeff. It's a lot easier than trying to get like a spoonful of mush in their mouth. It's very it's nice
It's
just
more
sort of like,
real, right? Like,
yeah, it's like here's a bunch of stuff, just gnaw on
yeah,
it, do your thing,
Shove it in your face, baby.
go for it.
pretty much. And no, it's been good. Because yeah, we ended up getting the hint because she was just not wanting the spoon anymore. Like we'd go to feed her and she'd like swat it away and move her face, or she'd just like clamp her mouth shut. And then we looked into it, and it was like, yeah, it's just her giving you the sign that she wants to start eating food. So yeah, we've been getting into that, and that's been super exciting. And she's crawling like a champ and climbing on furniture, and yeah, it's half the day is spent corralling her, and the other half of the day is spent giving her nibbles to get energy, so we have to corral her again. So it's parenthood.
I will say with the real food, expect now real poop, because that is
Yeah.
what does it. It comes out. It's the most awful smelling thing now that it's real stuff. Yeah. Oh
Well, she
God.
had like pretty, like she had like straight up just turds. Um,
Yeah.
but that was like before because she loved oats. And I
We've
think
made
that might
it.
have been it.
This is it. We're now talking about poop on
Yeah,
a
there it
YouTube
is.
video.
There
That's
you go.
great.
Hey everybody. Uh, this is a video game where you have to take a disposable thing off of another living thing, but it has lava in it, and you can't touch the lava because you lose points. And the thing is squirming all the time, all the time, always.
Steam Greenlight. Yeah.
So I'll add my bit into this. So the fruits that Adrian ate down in Colombia, there's this one that a lot of it involves just you eat the seeds, and seeds were coming out all week, just constantly, and we're looking at it like, how much of this did you eat? Like, how do you still have seeds? Like, I don't understand how these are still coming out, which got me to thinking where the checkbox on the return flight for the immigration where it says, you have any fruit or foreign objects that you're bringing into the country, and it's like, well, like I might be introducing some foreign seeds. I don't know if that's going to ruin the ecosystem here or not, but
Just
they're
don't let your
coming in.
baby. Just don't let your baby poop in the yard. You'll be fine.
I don't know where you let your baby poop, but
Don't bury it.
don't you tell me how to parent.
You just free range parent. Just let your baby go off in the yard.
Go, baby, go.
Go in this park. Daddy will watch you.
Daddy's gonna crack open a beer at the park and watch it.
Yes. Light up, grab a beer, and let your baby roam.
There's all these mysterious fruit trees in the park now. A bunch of drunk stoned guys passed it under them. They all have kids for some reason.
Oh man, but geez, Gavin, if I didn't dislike how easy your baby slept, like now I need to dislike how easy your baby eats, because my baby's just not having it. Like, just the transition to solid food is not going well so far.
Yeah.
He's very, very reluctant to go on to it. Like, he will sometimes eat it,
Okay.
but not consistently enough. And
Well,
it's
like,
very
she's
much
still
texture for him.
exploring. Like she's maybe getting a few nibbles of things. Like, she's not chowing down on it yet. But we're only a few days in. But I think for her now, the textural thing is the reverse. Like, she doesn't want the mush. But yeah, I totally get like how with your little one, like the texture thing could throw them off, and sometimes babies just don't want to switch.
Yeah, like some things like bread, he's all about, but it's not particularly ideal to have your baby just plow through like a French loaf, and then anything with too much
Throw a couple baguettes in the backyard and let them go.
Otherwise, like cookies, like he seems to have a sweet tooth, but we don't want to be doing that, so that's no good. And otherwise, it's like certain textures he just can't wrap his
You've
head
tried
around.
steak?
And then
Like meat? Like
we've done some chicken, we've done a little bit of fish, which he kind of liked. But
I love how Jeff is always suggesting steak.
steak. Just do steak.
Hey, you want to get your kid to sleep better? Give him steak.
Wait, steak.
Help you. Yeah, it's gonna make you better at Street Fighter. Have some steak.
Steak.
Little-
Steak.
baby's a
More
little
steak in the
colicky,
fridge.
little colicky baby.
Did your baby fall and hit its head? Just rub some steak on it. It's all right.
Wife's mad at
all
you?
like
Cook her steak.
That's it.
Diaper rash? Diaper rash? Just rub a steak on it.
Rub steak.
Just put a steak
Buy
on
half a
him.
cow.
Let him sleep there for the night. But
I swear Jeff's like descendant of butchers or something.
or
Might
oh,
have a might have a part in a butchery or something.
Yeah.
but it's been yeah, so it's been a bit of a challenge because now at this point, like he's coming up on one. At one, we switch off of formula, go to whole milk, is what our pediatrician said, and then although largely we're supposed to be having a lot more solids, so in many ways it's kind of like crunch time. Like we've definitely been on him for the past, like say even since he's been 6 months old to try to introduce things and get him into it, but
Hmm.
just not quite getting into it just yet.
So are
So
you still doing like purees and stuff, or is it mostly bottle?
so as much as possible trying to do solids. So and actually to the point now we're going to try cutting back on his bottle a little bit. Like if he's not eating anything else and he's super hungry, of course we'll give it to him. But we're going to try
Mhm.
to promote that hunger a little bit and then replace it with solids.
Yeah.
We've had good success with oatmeal, fruit inside of the oatmeal, some purees with apples, so basically like applesauce and things like that. For actual chunks, like we have tried meat, not so much bread. He loves bread, but it's just this weird transition period where he's not liking solid foods, but we know he needs solid foods, so we're just slowly starting to bring it in. I mean, it's the type of thing where I'd love to be able to just put down a bunch of like broccoli and other vegetables, things in front of him and see him kind of slowly gnaw on it, but just
Mhm.
not really
He's
his
not gonna
MO.
do broccoli. Broccoli's like the last thing my kids did.
Okay.
They liked it, but the one that really hit home was avocado. If
Yeah.
you peel it
She
and put
loves
it into
avocado.
slices,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I would have thought too, because even with the texture when it's like creamy, but
Yeah.
no dice on the avocado.
What's funny is
no,
that
eh?
she loved avocado as a puree because we give it to her like spoon fed that way. But now that she has like avocado as like a solid, she's
Yeah,
still kind of like, she'll nibble at it, but like she's not as like, give it to me, as she was with
put
like,
it in my veins.
I need it. Um, but no, it's really yeah because she's been getting a few solid forms of stuff that we would do because we have one of those baby bullets. It's like a little food processor for baby
Oh
food.
yeah,
Honestly, like it was a money saver because like we could go and spend a couple bucks on sweet potatoes and get like $10 worth of food. If we were to just buy like jars of like pre-made stuff, and also we know where it's coming from. Like it's a sweet potato. There's nothing, no preservatives, nothing. It's the sweet potato. We made it. Now she's eating it. Um, so yeah,
yeah.
that was really handy. But some of the things that she had as that, like the puree, we're now giving to her as like solid form, and she's like, "This is
This is different.
but it's a different form." So, but no, she's been doing. She likes cucumber. She loves gnawing on cucumber.
Yeah, that's a good one too. In
And
sticks or the rounds? Because we did the
we did the little
sticks.
discs,
Yeah, okay.
and she just kind of grabs onto it like a cookie and just nibbles on it.
That might be a good one to try. I don't know if we've tried
Yeah.
cucumber yet, so we could try
Just keep
sticks and
trying.
discs. Yeah.
Just keep trying different stuff. Like, don't give up. Like, it's usually just a selection thing, right? As long as he's, tasting some of it, at least he's opening up his palate a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And
Otherwise,
plus
you
the
just go
whole,
back to sludge, and it's
yeah,
he's not going to live off that.
Yeah, it's
and
gonna
the
be
swallowing
hot oatmeal till he's
mechanics and
5.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have to learn the mechanics of taking a piece, like an object, and like mashing it with their teeth and gums, and then putting it down
Without
their gullet
choking.
without choking.
Yeah.
And those mechanics are a little weird, and yeah, our little one's still getting her head around it, and every so often she's just like, ah, ah. So, but
Yep.
it's really, really kind of fun to watch, and every so often when she like sinks her teeth in, not the gagging, but like that.
No, I was about to say, I'm like, not her choking to death, but
No. But yeah,
Like, oh, listen to her choke. That's
it's a
adorable. Little
little,
cough.
yeah. She had barbecue sauce for the first time tonight. She loved it.
Oh, that's a good one too.
She had like this like face. Her like she bit into this slice of pork chop because we just gave her a little strip that she could just gnaw on, and she bit into it, and it was just like Requiem for a Dream or pupils.
I remember my kid's face the first time they got a spoonful of ice cream. It
I
was
thought you
like,
were gonna say steak.
no, steak as well. But ice cream, it's like this is what life is made of. This
Yeah,
is the energy I need.
yeah,
I require this now.
yeah. I'm curious to see her reaction to her first taste of chocolate because
Oh,
if she's anything like Mama, like that's like the one sweet tooth thing. That's like, yeah,
that's
chocolate,
it.
Yeah,
chocolate's
we'll see. I'll say mine does seem to have a taste for espresso, which is worrying. So we saw,
Wait,
My God.
your
yeah.
kid's already
So
coffee?
no, we saw
Wow.
there is a really kind Italian couple that we see, a very old, kind Italian couple that we've befriended on our street, so our neighbors. And they had us over. We had a meal and espresso for everybody, not for baby specifically. And then, in many senses of the word, she's very classic old grandma in that like it's like I'll just get the kid whatever I want because I'm a grandma.
Mhm.
So like she tends to have like these kind of sweet biscuits and she'll give him those. We're like okay that's enough sweet biscuits for him. And then next thing you know he has another one and you're like okay that's enough sweet biscuits please. But this time like she was going for the drink of it and he loves drinking out of cups. Always has just as far as water or like juice whatever you're drinking and she has the espresso. So they're laughing about it, and she takes a spoon of it and gives it to him, like the really tiny like sugar spoon. So just like the tiniest of taste of it, and it's just like
Oh my
that,
God.
like that's messed up. Don't please don't do that again. She does it a second time, and it's like okay, that is funny.
This
Okay,
is
that's a third. That's a third time. That's a third scoop of espresso. Please.
Oh my
Okay, that's a
God.
fourth. Okay, no, please. No, you have to still like I think we actually reached over and grabbed the cup. It's like that's four tiny spoons of espresso you fed to my baby. I don't think he's gonna sleep again. What have you done? I,
Ever.
I understand you're a
Oh
grandma.
my
My God.
God. What are the effects on that? Like, what did he do after? Did he just body overload and like conk out or something?
Yeah.
Or
So again, like I'll reiterate how tiny. Again, think of the sugar
yeah, yeah.
spoons,
But
and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even full those.
espresso.
He fell asleep just fine tonight. There was
Wow.
some part of me that was assuming like he's not going to bed tonight. Like he's not gonna be able to sleep until like midnight.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how big it is. Your first dose of cocaine always knocks you.
So,
He got 4 hits free. He got 4 hits. He's not even the first one.
Yeah, it was,
oh man, it was
neighbor
four.
Nana gave him like 4 shots. Like,
Oh my God. At
That's
that point,
nothing.
I'm surprised he didn't start breaking plates and be like, "That's it. I'm out of here."
Just zipping
That's
around.
it.
Ooh, but
he
he's like
stands up
his
out of his high chair, just rips his shirt open, punches dad in the mouth.
He just
grows
runs through the door.
grows 12 inches and just
Yeah,
goes and gets a job.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he no
That is
ill
different.
effects. No, he did not act differently at all for the rest of the day. So I guess he inherited my genes as far as caffeine
Yeah.
never having much of an effect.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
he's immune.
maybe he's built up a tolerance from just like
Yeah.
contact high.
When he's 20, you can tell him he's just immune to coffee and its effects. It's like, no,
Yeah.
caffeine doesn't affect you.
It's like pros, you can drink it at any time of day and it doesn't affect you. Cons, it will never
save
wake
you.
you up. It's like when you got to stay up late for studying for school, you got nothing unless you're getting into drugs. By the way, baby, don't do drugs. So,
First hit's free. Go next door to Trevor's neighbors.
but they're lovely folks. It's always such a great time when we go and see them. But like, man, that was just
That's amazing.
it was just.
I can only picture your faces just slightly more horrified with each spoonful.
Yeah, just kind of powerless to.
What is she doing? What is she?
Like, you said they were Italian? They're Italian? Is that what you said?
They're very very Italian.
Because I have, like, my wife's...
Just a little.
Yeah. My wife's grandparents are Italian, and like they feed the kids until their stomachs explode. Like, oh no, they just need some fish, and they need some pasta, and then they need some sausage, and then but they're not giving them like espresso and
Yeah, but
loading them up.
uh,
I'll get the dirty diapers, but
Yeah.
the
Wow.
kids won't have the shakes.
Jeez.
I think we'll. Yeah, if he stayed up super late, we probably would just bring him back across the street. And like, all right, well,
Yeah,
you made this mess, so you deal with it now.
this is your doing.
We'll see what happens overnight in his first movement after this. But I'm hoping it's small enough dose that like there's no.
Withdrawal symptoms in the morning. He has like cold sweats.
He just
All right.
wakes up angry.
Welcome to my world, baby. It's like you and I are going to be in the same boat now from now on.
Your baby's first words are gonna be, "Where's my damn coffee?"
Double, double. Like, baby, no.
That wouldn't be unexpected, knowing you. I don't know.
Honestly, yeah.
Lee, did I ever tell you the trick that I did with the Hortons cup with him?
The beer. What?
No, the Tim Hortons cup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The can and the Tim Hortons cup. No. So you'd be hanging out with him, and in my desperate need to stay awake, I'd commonly go and get a Tim Hortons coffee, and I'd come back with a cup. Now this thing is bright and it's red, and he's generally always had a fascination with cups and always wants to drink out of them. So I'm sitting there drinking, and he's always just reaching, and he's grabbing, and he's trying to get it. It's hot coffee, and it's also my lifeblood. So it's just it's bad for him to doing that. So what I started to do is I kept one of the cups and I just cleaned it out thoroughly, and I would sit down and I'd take the empty cup and I'd first like pretend to start drinking from it, and he'd go and he'd grab for it. I'm like, oh no, don't take it, and then he'd take that cup. And whilst he's playing around with decoy cup, I take out my actual coffee and I have myself a great time. Repeat that as much as necessary until I'm finished my actual coffee, because it was the only way to get it done for those like couple months when he was crawling around super interested in it. Coffee by any means necessary, gentlemen. I'm telling you. Find a way.
hilarious.
My
Stupid
daughter
kid.
likes. I have an espresso cup, and she's so fascinated by tiny cup. Every time I'm drinking from it, she doesn't want to grab it, but she just watches me. She's like, "That's such a small cup.
That's a my size cup.
It's smaller than my sippy cup."
Look at it.
You know,
It's amazing she doesn't do the next like level though, as far as like reaching for it or drinking from it or.
I also tend not to have her in my lap when I'm drinking tiny cup. She's in her little awesome chair with all of her toys, and I just sit next to her in my not so awesome chair with no toys and drink my coffee. And then she babbles and tells me about her dreams that she had that night, and yeah.
And you tell her about your dreams and
Now they're crushed.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks to you, they'll never come true. Thanks, baby. Cheers.
Yeah, no, she's totally fascinated. She could probably get a hold of it one day, but it's just coffee.
So I'm to take from that you don't let your kid drink espresso.
I try not to let her drink espresso. I usually keep the espresso for myself, and yeah. I don't want to roll those dice.
I just thought it was pretty common. I didn't know.
No.
Yeah.
They take it to your grandparents and they load your kid up with espresso and you have a great time.
Yeah.
That's how your baby grows.
That's exactly. That's how we all grow.
Gentlemen, I do believe that wraps it up for us this week. As a reminder, do not feed your infant kids coffee. It is not good for them.
At least after the first time, right? Maybe 2, 3,
after
4.
the first taste.
Well, it stunts growth, but with all due respect, your kid's a bit of a tank, so you'll be fine.
So you're big enough. Have this coffee, buddy.
Yeah.
So once again, everybody, do not feed your kids espresso. Thanks so much for listening this week for this show of big dreams and wonderful advice. If you'd like to reach out to us for a show idea, question, or comment, you can find us on our website at newdadgaming.com. You can subscribe to this podcast. We release this weekly. You can find us on iTunes as well as the Google Play Store and other fine podcasting services. Once again, thank you for listening. My name is Trevor, and I have an 11-month-old.
My name is Gavin. I have a 9-month-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
That's great. Thanks so much, guys. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.